World Wildlife Day is celebrated on the 3rd of March annually. This year's theme, Forests and Livelihoods, Sustaining People and Planet, aims to highlight the central roles of forests, forest species, and ecosystem services in sustaining the livelihoods of hundreds and millions of people globally. Between 200 to 300 million people live within or adjacent to forested areas around the world, relying on various ecosystem services provided by the forests, including food, shelter, energy, and medicine. Forest systems, biodiversity, and the livelihoods that depend on them currently find themselves at the crossroads of the multiple planetary crises we currently face, from climate change to biodiversity loss and the health, social, and economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Wildlife management in Trinidad and Tobago is effected through the Conservation of Wildlife Act, Chapter 6701, which was enacted in 1958. The Forestry Division has the responsibility for the enforcement of this act and the management of wildlife resources in Trinidad. In this regard, a wildlife section was established in 1981 as a subunit of the Forestry Division and is staffed by game wardens, foresters, and supervised by the head of wildlife and the chief game warden. This unit is tasked with upholding international conventions that Trinidad and Tobago are signatories to, such as CITES or the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Flora and Fauna, the Convention on Migratory Species for the conservation and sustainable use of terrestrial, aquatic, and avian migratory animals and their habitats, the Ramsar Convention for the conservation and wise use of wetlands and their resources, and SPOR, or Specially Protected Areas and Wildlife. The Forestry Division, in commemoration of World Wildlife Day, has embarked on a controlled one-day wildlife exhibition at the Wildlife Section at Farm Road, St. Joseph. The exhibition was attended by the Minister of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, Senator the Honorable Clarence Rambrat, along with the Permanent Secretary, Ms. Susan Sherland, and the Conservator of Forests and Chief Game Warden, Mr. Denny Dipchansing. The Wildlife Section was responsible for coordinating the day's events and presented educational displays and memorabilia to commemorate World Wildlife Day. Various designs of bird feeders were also created by trainees of the Wildlife Section using recyclable materials, and some even showed their skill in presenting wildlife in the form of fruit carvings. Wildlife exhibitors of various organizations participated by presenting their various displays of wildlife to the public. Mr. Ricardo Meade of the El Socorro Center for Wildlife Conservation brought imagination to life with his wide variety of intriguing species of birds and insects. Even the Honorable Minister and Permanent Secretary joined children of the public in releasing 2 rehabilitated birds from the center.
3, 2, 1.
Mr. Syed Ali and his team from the Reptile Conservation Center of Trinidad and Tobago captivated the visitors with their vast knowledge and experiences with reptiles from all over the world, and some even got a chance to hold a snake or a caiman for the first time. Thanks for watching, but stay tuned as Forestry Division prepares to celebrate the International Day of Forests on March 21st.